Hey, what is up guys? How are we doing? And yep, you guessed it, welcome back to another video. Now today we're looking at something new from Logitech, and this is the G433, a wired gaming headset that is pretty flexible. As you can tell, it's got some cables detached at the moment, but it comes with a range of different microphones, a range of different cables, and it's probably the most flexible and versatile headset that I've tested so far. But you probably already noticed that this thing is bright red and it's covered in fabric, which is something that is definitely quite different, and it's definitely a breath of fresh air when it comes to headset design. It doesn't scream gamer like a lot of them do, but personally I think it actually looks pretty good. If red isn't for you, it does come in blue and black, but obviously it's entirely down to personal choice. Taking a closer look at the headset, the top part of the headset is plastic, and it does feel a little bit on the cheaper side, unfortunately. And it's worth noting that this is a headset that costs over £100 at an RRP of £109.99. So I guess I would expect to see better here, Logitech. But on the underside, there's plenty of foam, and it's covered in cloth. And this is a material that I think is a good choice because it's not going to become overly sweaty in use. It feels quite light and quite airy, and it does make for a comfortable fit. The whole unit can be adjusted by using the sort of tabs on the left and right hand side. Simply pull it to the sides of your head. Moving down the headset, we get to the ear cups, and this is the part that is covered in that fabric, although it is color matched of course to the rest of the headset. And while it definitely does look very good, at least to my eyes, again it doesn't really feel that expensive, because if you get the headset, you actually touch it and you tap it, it makes this noise, which personally I don't really think is that acceptable for something that costs over £100. It is pretty similar in design to the more expensive G533, which is of course wireless, and a lot of people won't mind about that sort of thing, but I do think it's important to compare this to a pair of dedicated headphones, which something like the Sennheiser Momentums, which are cheaper. The build quality on that is way better than you'll find here. So you are definitely giving up build quality when you're picking a headset like this. The microphone though is completely detachable from the unit itself, and the cool thing here is that you get a choice of two. You can either use the boom microphone, is more like your traditional headset. It does have a pop filter on it as well. It doesn't rely on like a big ball type thing like you'll find on the HyperX Cloud II, but you've also got an inline microphone as well that you can use when you're on the go or with your PC or your console. I'd recommend sticking with the boom microphone all the time you're at home, but if you do want to say use this on the daily commute, or they've marketed it as maybe like something you'd use with the Nintendo Switch, then obviously you can do that as well. The insides of the headset are removable. You can take off the stock cloth covers that you'll find, and you can replace them with like a microfiber cloth type material. Again, doesn't necessarily feel that expensive, but I have to say I really do actually quite like this material. It's very comfortable against your head, and it doesn't get overly hot even in summer, whereas some of the headsets that I've tested that do use like a leatherette material, even in the winter they can really start to heat up when you're wearing them on your ears. So generally speaking, I think it's a good design. I just wish it felt a little bit more expensive, because if you spend 110 quid on this, I'm afraid I think you will be slightly disappointed on the build quality. Moving on to the performance of the headset though, with audio quality, it's going to depending on whether you want to use the included DAC that gives you that 7.1 virtual surround sound courtesy of DTS-X headphone, which should be noted that is not going to sound as good as dedicated surround sounds, but personally I think it's a trade-off I'm willing to make, because I've found that headsets that have more drivers tend to sort of sound worse in terms of outright quality, but of course they do make up for that by having better surround sound. But generally speaking, virtual surround sound is also it's always worth playing about with. Games like Mass Effect Andromeda, I found that it can help to sort of open up the soundstage a little bit, but some games you probably won't really notice that much of a difference, and things like music I really wouldn't advise using it at all. Just stick with the stock configuration. But the clever thing here is that you don't have to use this USB DAC. So regardless of whether you're using console or PC, you can plug it into any 3.5mm jack and then make use of the microphone and of course the headset speakers themselves. And my testing was done with both the included DAC, and then using an Audio Quest Dragonfly to remove that variable. And in both situations I found that listening to music on this was what I would describe as acceptable to good. It definitely was a little bit on the muddy side. It's not the most detailed sound out there. I'm sure the sound will open up a little bit as I use this headset for a longer period of time, but out of the box and after a few hours of listening, it's certainly enjoyable. It depends what you listen to. I mean, something like Coldplay sounded pretty good on this headset, but if you're someone that really takes your music seriously, you like maybe listening to smooth jazz and really like to be able to listen to the detail and the clarity of vocals, then it's not really going to do a fantastic job, and headphones of course will be a lot better. And if you are someone that does play games and listen to a lot of music, then I'm sure people have already written this down in the comments below. Consider getting yourself a pair of dedicated headphones and then a mod mic, and then you get the best of both worlds. But if you're like me and you play a lot of games, then this is where this headset does actually excel. The level of bass on this headset, I have to say, of all the headsets I've come across so far, for me it's perfect. Obviously you can tune it using the included software if you like on the PC side of things, but out of the box I found that everything had enough punch to it, but it was never overpowering, and the overall sort of tuning of the sound I found has been excellent. And playing games like Gears of War 4, I found that it was quite easy to sort of just get on with it really and just have a good, enjoyable gaming experience without sort of feeling like I was missing out on not using my speakers. Obviously it's not the best sound in the world, as I said it's not the most detailed, but for gaming I have to say actually it's rather good. And playing something like Prey as well, it was quite easy to get immersed in the action and then have the sort of subtle Prey soundtrack sort of kick in as you get towards like a story point in the game, and overall it does definitely sound pretty damn good. Moving on to the microphone quality though of the Boom microphone, I have to say this is actually class leading, and it is really surprising when I listen to it just how clean the recordings sounded. So this is a microphone quality test of the Logitech G433. This is the Boom microphone, and it's definitely not the best microphone I've ever heard, but compare it to a lot of other headsets in this price bracket, I actually think it probably is one of, if not the best in its class, because while it is a little bit nasally, it's actually very clear, it's very easy to understand what I'm saying, and if you want to talk to your friends in game or over Skype or other voice over IP applications, I think it's going to be a really good choice. So as you can tell, the Boom microphone on board sounds fantastic, and obviously you can use the inline remote if you prefer, but the sound quality of that isn't going to be the same, and I would only really advise using that if you're sort of on the go. And with that, it pretty much draws us towards the end of this video and it's conclusion time. This is a headset that I really liked, and I still do like it, but I only found out about the price after I'd done my testing. And I think it's perhaps a little bit disappointing that it doesn't sound that much better than some of its competition, bearing in mind it is a fair amount more expensive. I do like the fabricated design, and I do like the fact that it has one of the best microphones in its class, and of course it's highly versatile and can be used with PCs, consoles, and can be used on the go as well with that inline remote. But for a headset that is a little bit on the cheaper feeling side and doesn't have the best audio quality out there, it is slightly difficult to give a blanket recommendation for. If you're after the design of it, or you're after that versatility, or just having the best microphone available in this sort of price bracket, then it does come recommended and it wins the recommended award. But if you want something that is a lot better value and offers similar levels of performance, I would point you in the direction of the Cloud II from HyperX. And if you're if you're after something that sounds a little bit better and is also a little bit cheaper, in my opinion, I think that goes to the Razer Kraken Pro V2, but that is a analog only headset. So if you do want to use a USB headset, do bear that one in mind. Massive thank you to you guys for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, then hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this. Let me know what you thought of this video down in the comment section below, and of course a massive thank you to Logitech for supplying this review sample. Any questions, as I say, leave them down below. Find more videos here, and I'll see you in the next one.